Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut. And for this show, joining me today is Snehashish Mukherjee, Bharat Ramraj. Both of them are joining us from Dubai. And of course, Shubhayan Chakrabarti as well. We have lots to talk about. First of all, starting with, is the Indian women's team ready to take on the T20 World Cup challenge? We'll talk about football. Rahul is at the Mohan Bagan practice, so he'll give us all the updates from there. And of course, we'll take a look at the Irani Cup. And Boria Mujumdar has also joined us. Snehashish, Bharat, over to you guys. First, tell us the updates from Dubai. What's it like there? I know Snehashish just texted me a couple of minutes ago that it's so hot someone could melt over there.
Yes, yes.
India doesn't melt under pressure. Everything else is fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think India's keeper Harmanpreet Kaur sounded very positive in the event. When she was asked about handling pressure, she talked about that pressure will be there, but the team is ready and she's very happy the way team has managed, to cope up with all the little things. And she is very confident that India will do something special here. And now let's see how they perform in the tournament starting from tomorrow.
Bharat, Snehashish is in the bus. Where are you? Have you reached your hotel or your house?
Yeah, just 1 minute ago I reached, so I still have
nice.
that.
So the question for you, Bharat, both of you, give me a sense of the body language of Harmanpreet Kaur, because seeing someone up close, one can understand. Was she confident? How was she like? Tell me, because both of you were there at the captain's meet. Give us a clear lowdown as to what happened to all of us.
Yeah, if you look at the pressure, she sounded quite confident, but that's again, I'm looking at the outside coating of Harmanpreet Kaur, what exactly she's feeling from inside, no one knows, but from outside at least, she sounded confident that she can handle the pressure this time around. But again, Elisa Haley was the one who came out on top. If you ask me about body language, the way she talked, when someone asked her the question that what is the secret of Australia's success, she went on to jokingly say that I can't give you out the secret how we have succeeded and all that. So I think she's the one who pretty much came out on top. Even when I asked a question about Meg Lanning's legacy, she said that yeah, she has created a great legacy for Australian cricket, but now it is my time. I have to think about my captaincy, how I can do it, how in my style I can do it. So she was confident of the lot. But again, Harmanpreet Kaur, at least from the outside, sounded confident when a question was asked about how India will handle the pressure, or in terms of how India have failed under pressure in the past. But can they go on to win the World Cup this time?
Question for you both before I go to Gargi and Shubhan and Devashish also on this. Harmanpreet Kaur batted at number 3 in both the matches. Someone is asking, Sachin Chaudhary, should Harman bat at the number 3 position? Bharat, you go first before I go to Snehashish.
You see, the problem with the Indian team is they have changed their batting order too much. Jemima Rodriguez was at number 5 before these 2 practice games, and she's now batting at 4. Harmanpreet Kaur was batting at 4. She's now batting at 3. Stika Bhatia was supposed to bat at 3, but she's batting somewhere else. So I think that's the main problem. In my opinion, she shouldn't bat at number 3. In my opinion, it should be the same. Harmanpreet Kaur coming at 5. Yeah, because Rodriguez has been playing at that number 5 slot and doing rather well in the last 14 matches. Let her continue at that number 5 slot, and Yastika at 3. What I've noticed about Harmanpreet Kaur even previously in the World Cups, because they doesn't have a good record in World Cups. If you notice, she averages 20.53 or something in World Cups. Is that when she gets tensed, when it gets too intense, her bottom hand gets very tight, because she's a bottom-handed player. Obviously, nothing against bottom-handed play, but when someone is tensed, that usually that bottom hand gets very, very tight, and that is why I think Harmanpreet Kaur kind of fails. In my opinion, number 3 is perhaps not the slot for her. She should bat at number 4, and India should continue with that batting order that they had, because stability is the key. If you keep changing the batting order, it doesn't really work well, in my opinion.
Shubhan, I was a little surprised with Harmanpreet Kaur at 3. Your thoughts before I go to Snehashish, Devashish and Gargi?
See, Boria, I think Bharat did say that Jastika has been batting at number 3, Harman at 4, and Jemima at 5. This was the standard batting order so far. But if I don't have any problem with Harman batting at number three if she can convert it into big runs. We know that she is capable of scoring big runs, but if you are changing the combination of the playing 11 or the batting unit, you need to take that responsibility. If she's taking that responsibility, then it has to come in terms of runs and not just the batting position. Uh, and again, captain leading from the front, I have no issues with that. But again, only a couple of matches that she has batted at three. She has done it in the past also, but not very regularly. But let's give her a time. If they have decided to take this call that Herman has to bat at number three, then let's give her at least a couple of matches. Because if she clicks, then nothing like that. Because she has that natural power. With Yastika, strike rate has been an issue. Like even at the best of her days, 120, 125 is the best she reaches. And Herman is capable of scoring at 150, 160 at the best of her days. The best hasn't come consistently. That's a different issue altogether. But if Harman can take the onus and play some attacking cricket at number three, then I think with Jemima at number three, Yastika, I don't know what she will do with her. Pooja again, Pooja Vastrikar down the order can hit a good few blows. Richa Ghosh, I think they should definitely try her at the top of the order at around number four if that's a position she can bat, because you need some attacking players in the shorter formats, and Harmanpreet, Richa, and followed by Jemima. I think they are capable of providing that. And in shorter formats, I think Boriada, you will also agree. Batting position is just numbers. It is the way you play.
Snehashish, two matches, two failures from Harmanpreet Kaur in the warm-up matches. Now you don't have any more warm-up match. You're going in against New Zealand on the 4th. Did anybody ask her about batting position? Was there any talk? Give us a sense about the captain's meet and your thoughts. Should Harmanpreet Kaur continue at 3 or during the first match against New Zealand again change the batting order again?
See, from personal perspective, I absolutely agree with both Bharat and Shubhan that I think she should have batted at number four, because in her career, maximum time she has batted at that position, and all the big knocks have came at that position only. So I think that's a comfortable place for her. But I think if the team management thinking like that, I think seeing these two warm-up matches, I think the call has been taken that in this World Cup, Harmanpreet will bat at number three. But I think that only helps, Jemima Rodriguez to bat at number four, because the quality batter Jemima Rodriguez is, and the anchorship role that she can play, I think number four is best suited for her. So let's see how she does. But in two warm-up games, as you said, there are two failures. It's a big concern. I think mentally, I think it is going on Harman's mind. But there was no such direct question regarding that in the press. But about the whole thing, about the whole pressure, she sounded positive. She said that the team is doing small things, keeping in mind all the mistakes that have we have made in the past, and we are not trying to repeat themselves in this upcoming tournament. Overall, she sounded positive, and she is very hopeful that the team will do good, especially in the group stage at least, to make sure that the team will qualify for the knockout stages.
Gargi and Devashish. Gargi first, Devashish second. Somebody's asked this question and it's a correct question. Nitish Gaming. Will this be a last chance for Harmanpreet Kaur as captain? Will she continue? If India doesn't win, do you see Harmanpreet Kaur captain of India going forward? Gargi first, Devashish after that.
No, I do not see Harmanpreet Kaur going forward as the captain if India were to lose this World Cup, because uh, sh- ever since Mithali Raj left, Harmanpreet Kaur has had countless opportunities to make it big, to make a statement, but we've seen that she's not consistent enough with her bat. If she was, maybe we wouldn't have raised questions about her captaincy as well. But we're not seeing any results from the captaincy. Neither are we seeing any results from the bat. So it's sort of at this point boils down to our looking at someone new. Smriti Mandana is in line, and she's been doing very well in the recent past. She's been performing very consistently. So I think if this World Cup doesn't come to India, Harmanpreet Kaur, there will be a lot of, first of all, a lot of criticism going towards her, and then of course I see the management taking the tough call this time around.
Devashish then?
I totally buy the views of Shubha and what says, because in a shorter format like T20, batting order does not really matter. Means whether Harman bats at number three or whether she bats at number four means it's the mentality, it's the mindset, and in a format like this, you should be flexible. Means depending on the opponent, you should be flexible, and I think that would be the right template for Indian team going forward in the tournament. And in if Harmanpreet can score, yes, very true. She has not scored runs in both the practice games, but given the match against New Zealand, if she scores runs, then that will give the confidence in not only in her personally, but to the team entirely. So I think, as Shubhayan rightly said, it's batting order means not be too much concerned about batting order, but it's about the approach. I would love to see the approach of the Indian batters going forward in the tournament.
If India doesn't win, do you see Harman as captain? Yes, no.
No.
Rashish?
No, definitely no. She has got plenty of opportunities. She has got plenty of opportunities, Boriada, and I don't see her continuing with the role of captain. Means obviously then we
But
need to
age
move
is also
forward.
a factor. Age is also a factor. I think Harman is at the fag end of her career, and plus as Gargi also mentioned, the runs have dried up, and it has been a while. We have seen Harman consistently hit big runs in whatever format it is. So I think with the bat also she is under pressure. With the captaincy also she is under pressure to deliver a trophy for India. And regarding infrastructure and every practice, they are getting everything whatever they have asked for. So it's about time. Plus UAE conditions. I think this is the best suited condition for an Indian team for a subcontinent team. So I think they have to take this chance, and otherwise it will be we will see some changes in the Indian team.
Bharat, you are there in Dubai. By the way, let's just put this on record again. Bharat Ramraj, Snehashish Mukherjee, both of them are reporting from Dubai. Both of them were part of the captain's meet. Bharat, what did Chamari Atapattu say? How confident was Sri Lanka? How confident was Atapattu? Because according to me, they are the dark horse of this particular tournament, and a lot of people are asking for your top four. So give me your top four. Do you reckon India will qualify, or will Sri Lanka pose a difficult thing? So what did Chamari Atapattu say, and your top four, Bharat?
Yes, it's Chamari Atapattu. If you look at from Sri Lanka's point of view, I remember the Sri Lankan men's team just before the 1996 World Cup. They were playing in the Benson and Adjust Try series, and Romesh Kalutharan and Sanjay Jaiswal absolutely went after Glenn McGrath in that match. I think Sri Lankan women's team is exactly at that stage. They have just won the Asia Cup, and that's why they're looking like a dark horse, because obviously the conditions also will suit them. They have played in these conditions before in the qualifiers. They in Scotland have some kind of advantage in that aspect. As far as Shamari Tapato is concerned, she talked about how she's now a senior player. If you remember correctly, when Chamari Tapato was there, when she first came on the scene, there are players like Siri Vardhane, Yashoda Mandis, and all these players. So Chamari Tapato rightly said that now I am the senior, and I am the one responsible for nurturing these youngsters, giving them advice, giving them insights as to how to come through the ranks, how to do well, or whatever they want to ask me. So from that aspect, she sounded pretty confident. As far as team's chances are concerned, yeah, she said that the way they played in the Asia Cup, they can go on to do well here also. But the main thing that she stressed upon was how she's now the senior player, and she's the one who has to nurture the youngsters. From that aspect, I have to say she has grown in her role, because the way she was talking, it seemed like she's taken over the mantle of trying to help these players to improve the young players, improve their respective games. And
Okay, yes, because Bharat is right about the Shashikala Sirivardhana point.
uh,
An excellent player, by the way, for Sri Lanka. Excellent. I mean, when Shashikala retired with her off spin and the way she batted for the longest time, she was excellent along with Chamari Adapatu. But now with Hasni Pereira, Nilakshi Silva, Karanavira, if you look at that side, there is serious power. There is serious potential in that Sri Lankan side. It is no longer dependent on Chamari Atapattu. The moment Chamari Atapattu got out, we thought Sri Lanka's done. That is no longer the case. That's important as far as we are concerned. Snehashish is also joining. I think he's now gotten off the bus. That's why he sort of quickly switched off. That's understandable. Bharat, how many Indian media are there?
yeah, there are some of them, obviously. My old colleague I met, cricket also. So few of them have come. I guess a few others, like maybe from Times of India. So maybe at least around 5, 6 publications or so.
So compared to a men's World Cup, not even 1/20th is the
Yes.
ratio. And that is what our coverage of cricket is all about. Snehashish, did you see any of the other digital platforms that tom the fact that they talk cricket big? Did you see any of them?
No.
How many Indian media in terms of numbers?
No, no, it was very, very less. As Bharat said, that it was very less, and I think we all expected that the numbers will be less, and it was. So I think, and many platforms who covers only women's cricket, also they are coming on tomorrow or day after tomorrow on first match day of Team India. They are not even here. So I think so we have managed to come here early, and we are trying to get as many as good stories from here. So that's the main thing. But overall, the number is very less when it comes to media platforms.
Shubhan, thoughts on this? So-called media houses who say, they are the champions of cricket. Why is it that you don't cover a World Cup, for God's sake, from on ground? So is it that you are only going to cover men's cricket and the IPL because these are spectacles and everything else is of no value?
Yeah, I think it has always been the case, unfortunately, in women's cricket. I don't see. Last time I've covered a cup. I have covered the South Africa. I covered the South Africa T20 World Cup thing, and it was also the same. I think the numbers were far lesser there. I think only 3 or 4 Indian media houses were there. It's a shame that it is the case. Hopefully, with performances, more media will get attracted. Like in the Olympics, like in the Paralympics, more and more media are now interested because of the success they are achieving. But I think there has to be a norm. If you are covering men's cricket, you should equally cover women's cricket at the same time as well. And hopefully things will improve, because it has been a while that women's cricket is asking serious questions from the media, as in terms of media coverage and the kind of reportage that men's cricket does. And with WPL, with many franchises cricket all over the world, I think it is about time that women's cricket get equal coverage. And I think KKR CEO Venki Mysore, in some of the interview, he recently said that women's cricket has far more potential than men's cricket has currently in terms of business also. So why not give them
Okay,
equal
so now,
coverage?
now let's get the top four. Gargi, you start. Before I go to Devashish, Bharat, Shubhan, and Snehashish, and I will hold all of you to this. Give me your top four. Gargi Raut, you start. Top four. Come on.
Okay.
Everybody is asking top four.
Australia, England, India, and Sri Lanka. Wait, no. There's no South
How?
Africa. Oh, God. This
No,
is
no, 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 no.
difficult.
Hello. India, Australia, and Sri Lanka are in the same group.
Oh, right.
So
So,
tell me.
India, Australia, South Africa, and England.
So South Africa, England, India, Australia. Got it. But Devashish Sen.
I'll also go with Gargi. India, Australia, South Africa, and England.
Shubhan, before I go to our two reporters on ground.
I think this is a straightforward pick. I think I'll agree with these 4 picks, because potentially I think this is how the groups are also divided, that you want the top 4 best teams to go. But yeah, West Indies can cause a upset on their day. Sri Lanka can cause upset on their day. So there are some good players in all the teams who are capable of winning matches single-handedly for their team. So let's see if we see any upset or not. But otherwise, it's a very straightforward choice if we have to just go by the names or the strengths of the team.
Snehashish Mukherjee, Bharat Ramraj will have the final say of the top four. Come on. মুরগির খামার ছেড়ে মরিনো বলছি গার্গি's favorite chicken shop is saying Katrina, Alia, Disha and Shraddha. Whatever that means. Snehashish, you tell me.
Mine is England and South Africa, and from this group, Australia, India or Sri Lanka. I think India versus Sri Lanka is the game. Whoever wins that game, they will go to the next round. I think that is the most important game.
Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, we'll go on similar lines, but I will just add that in Group B, South African team, they haven't looked good in the warm-up games. Without Cap playing in those 2 matches, they really struggled. But otherwise, I think it will be similar. England and South Africa, Australia and India. Though Sri Lanka definitely have a chance. They definitely have a chance. They recently beat India in the Asia Cup final, and I do believe they can again do that.
I tend to agree with both Bharat and Snehashish. India versus Sri Lanka could just be the game. Could just be the game to decide. But it will be really, really great for the women's game if India and Sri Lanka knock Australia out in the group. If if India and Sri Lanka
Yeah,
knock Australia out in the group, both can. Both
both
can.
can, both can,
Was
both can.
knocked out in the group in the UAE, conditions will favor these two subcontinental teams. Then it will be a World Cup which will all become open, and Bharat and Snehashish will have an absolute ball covering it. So, on ground reportage from both our reporters every single day, every single story, both of them will be reporting. Plus, they will have Charudat Joshi and our Dubai bureau also backing them up. So, best coverage, you know where from. No question. Global Chess League, Women's World Cup, both of the major events, you know where to come. Moving on, Irani Trophy. I mean, stay on, all of you. Shubhan, you start before I go to Devashish and Gargi on this. 200 from your favorite Sarfaraz Khan. Now, that is a statement.
5:36 for 9, end of day two. And I think I was laughing. I was just laughing because there was Junaid Khan, the last batter, just came in and there was a caught behind appeal and they took a DRS. Mumbai took a DRS. And when Sarfaraz was standing, Abhimanyu Ishwaran and Yash Dayal was standing in front of him. And Sarfaraz was just showing the bat and saying, Dekho, inki halat kya hai? Matlab, they were laughing. And Ishwaran looked miserable, Yash Dayal looked miserable. Rest of India are just like now they want Mumbai to give their wickets away because they have been absolutely terrible in the last two sessions. But credit to Sarfaraz, huge statement, massive statement becomes. He has now the fifth highest Irani Cup score in terms of across all the editions. First batter for Mumbai to score a double hundred. Four other batters have done it in the past. Wasim Jafar, Ravi Shastri, Praveen Amre, Yashasvi Jaiswal last season around, but they did it for rest of India. Sarfaraz has done it for Mumbai, and it is a staggering statement. 200, and he looked absolutely flawless. Prasidh Krishna barged him with short deliveries. He was unfazed. With against spinners, although I feel Saraj Jain and Manav Sutar were very ordinary today. They were bowling just the leg stump line from over the wicket, and they just cut out the LBW completely. They were bowling negative lines, and Sarfaraz kept on sweeping them. Even Tanush Kotian gave him a good partnership. His strike rate has been very good. 70 strike rate in a 200 plus score is a crazy thing. But he has looked absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. One caught behind chance. Prasidh Krishna bowled a good short ball to him, but it came off his locket. But now the thing is, where is the vacancy in the Indian middle order? That is the question. Will you persist with KL Rahul
That is the
continuously because KL
question.
also did well in the second innings with the bat.
Yes,
So
that is
now he has to
that is
wait someone to fail. That's
Devashish,
the
can
that's the
KL
thing about
comes
India.
under pressure. Devashish, is KL Rahul more under pressure because of Sarfaraz Khan's double hundred? Will he start feeling the pressure? I'll go to Gargi on this as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And every time now KL Rahul walks in the middle, he will always have that pressure because whatever opportunities Sarfaraz has got, he has looked good and he has played some outstanding knocks. Obviously, beat that England series where he scored that brilliant half century. And obviously, the only concern that bothers me is that uh, against genuine pace in trying conditions like in Australia, how will he succeed? Means that's the because in Indian conditions, in subcontinent conditions, no doubts whatsoever that Sarfaraz should easily walk into that playing 11. But then the team management has reposed their faith in KL Rahul. But then in this current form, Sarfaraz deserves a place in the playing 11 for the series against New Zealand. But uh, uh, still have a doubt in my mind whether he has it in him to success in conditions like in Perth because India plays the first test match in Perth. Do you see Sarfaraz getting picked ahead of KL Rahul? So that's debatable.
Gargi Raut, has Sarfaraz Khan done enough? Has he done enough to open up another possibility? Suppose one of the openers fail. If Jaiswal fails for a couple, will you get Gill in? Does that open up that middle order slot also for both Rahul and Sarfaraz? How long are you going to keep somebody out who's scoring double hundreds by like this? And Irani Trophy, you've got the best out there. KL Rahul seriously under pressure, no question. Sarfaraz Khan making a statement. Gargi Rao?
No, I don't think Sarfaraz Khan can be ignored anymore because he's done more than enough for the past 3 4 years. He's been performing consistently in Ranji Trophy in red ball cricket. I mean, like you said, how long can you ignore someone? How long can you make excuses for keeping someone on the sidelines? What excuse will you have now? And as soon as he's got the public support as well, and you know what happens We've seen that in the case of a lot of cricketers, when they don't get enough chances, the public goes wild. So at this point, Sarfaraz Khan needs to come in because he's young. He's got the potential to, be a big game changer for India. And if they don't get him in now, you could be missing out on his prime. They have to get him in.
Bharat
But
Ramraj,
who's
just for
free?
you, what's happening? People are saying drop Kohli for God's sake. Wow, this is quite interesting. Bharat, tell me.
Kohli averages 65 in his last 12 innings.
Yeah, the problem is there's no real place for him in the side because even KL Rahul obviously is under pressure, but he also scored runs recently. And if you look at his record overseas, I'm not saying every time he's gone there and scored runs overseas, but look at some of his key hundreds, a century and twice Lords. So he has come good abroad, and that is the essence of the point, or that is the quandary that the Indian management will definitely face. But you can't ignore Safras anymore. He's the kind of player who can really fluster the opponent. He may not look conventional, or he may not look technically that great, but he's someone with his unorthodox game can fluster the best of bowlers. He'll just he can hit in unusual areas, as they say, areas where the bowlers or the captains don't expect you to score runs with his great hands. So, yeah, you can't really ignore him anymore. And who knows, even abroad, he might come good with his unorthodox game. He might really irritate the opponent. So, you can't rule out just because he's an unorthodox game, he can't come good abroad.
And he looked good against Prasidh. He looked good against Mukesh and Yash Dayal today. He was very calm and composed. Although in Australia the ball will come a bit quicker off the deck, you need faster reactions there. I think, but I think Sarfaraz is well capable of. He smacked a couple of shorter deliveries for boundaries as well. But again, Australia is a different challenge altogether. KL Rahul has also, as Bharat said, has done well, century and century. Then Hyderabad 86 before he got injured, and then returned and scored a very good. It was a cameo, although it was a cameo in the Kanpur second innings. Chennai also he did decently. So I think he has been scoring runs. So right now I think Sarfaraz will have to patiently wait and keep scoring runs in whatever chances he's getting.
Shubhan, what is the update on Mohammad Shami before I have one final
Yeah.
segment on the Women's World Cup and close? I'm hearing another month gone. So if there is another
Yes.
month gone, what are you hearing? Tell me.
Last when I gave the update on Hardik that he's returning for the NCA, I took an update on Shami as well. At that time, they said Shami is doing well, but again, New Zealand series, they were also saying New Zealand first two tests looks a bit unlikely right now because he was not bowling at 140, which is his natural pace, 130, 138, 140, which is his natural pace. He was still way somewhere down there, but again, this knee, he got a swollen knee right now another month or even more than a month. I think Australia first three tests could be also affected because again he needs to come back and start from scratch. Bowling wise, he has to pick up his rhythm because he can't bowl from at 140 from day one after returning from his swollen knee as well. So we'll need time to pick things up, and plus age is also a factor. He's not a 22, 25-year old who will recover very quickly. So that is also something which the NCA guys are taking care of. But they are working hard. It is an unfortunate thing that he got a swollen knee, and it has been a persistent issue with Shami right now. His heel, his calf, his knee. But again, I think it will be a huge blow for India if he misses a couple of tests in Australia because you need to make a mark straight away.
So is it Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, and who are the two more? Shubhan?
I think I won't be surprised if we see Mayank Yadav, but the plan with Mayank Yadav is to make him play this Bangladesh T20 series and then make him play a couple of matches for Delhi in the Ranji Trophy. And if he survives a couple of games of 4-day games in Ranji Trophy, then they will take a call that okay he can come to us with Australia. As of now, Mayank is a surety to go to Australia as a net bowler, but in the main squad. I'm not sure. It will depend on whether how his body reacts in multiple day games, in 4-day games in Ranji Trophy. That will be crucial. Jash Dayal is another strong candidate who can be there because of his left-handedness. But I think the pace attack, four pace attack, if you have to ask me, it will be Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, and then again, who will you take? Who will you take? That is the call.
Will there be any chance of Hardik now? Do you see Hardik at all?
That is there's a definite outside chance. First priority is to play the Bangladesh T20s. Then I think he will if everything goes fine, then you might see him play. I'm not saying with utmost surety, but there was a plan that he might turn out for Baroda in one of the Ranji Trophy matches, because his
Okay.
simulation test, couple of simulation tests went well in at the NCA. 15 overs bowled a day, which is quite a lot for an all rounder, if you see. But he has passed both the tests, 15 overs each, with no fuss at all on his body, with no pressure at all on his body.
So at least if he can get a couple of tests done, by which time Mohammad Shami will be ready, so they can
Right.
rotate between Mohammad Shami
Plus,
and
you have a
Hardik Pandya.
WTC final in England. You have a WTC final in England, which in which in
It's a
those
one-off.
conditions Hardik will be excellent.
Correct. So India will have to keep that in mind. I mean, and
Mhm.
India will be competitive. Make no mistake. We've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
we've
yeah.
got a team that will be competitive under any circumstance. There's no question. Okay, last few minutes. Going back to the Women's World Cup again. 2 days time, India takes on New Zealand. All of us watched yesterday. Bharat Ramraj, Snehashish Mukherjee. Snehashish, you start. You watch that match from the ground. India wobble at the top of the order again. Some 15 for 2. Shefali Verma inconsistent. Harmanpreet Kaur inconsistent. Then Deepti Sharma, Jemima Rodriguez, Richa Ghosh. Once again rescuing India. Is this becoming a pattern? The spinners were great. Asha Shobana, very good. Swarga Patil. Even Harman got a wicket. What is happening? What is happening? Dubai
Some ambulance is there. It's done.
ambulance also needs to calm down. Anyway, so Snehashish, you were there at the ground yesterday. Give us a sense. Is India ready?
See, I think the warning signs they are at the top order, especially, and the fielding. I think the fielding needs to be improved, especially the ground fielding. And I think with the Asian teams, it has been a problem. The fielding has to be improved. Yesterday also we saw, Shafali Verma dropping the catch of Laura Woodward, and you cannot drop those catches in crucial matches. This was a warm-up match. Even if Laura Woodward, you know, would have won that match for South Africa, it's still fine because it's a warm-up match. But it is a group game or it's a crunch game, and you are dropping such catches, and that might cost you the World Cup and a qualification to the knockout stages. So I think that is the area that India need to improve, and especially the pacers. I think they need to improve their game also, because we all know that when you are bowling in the first 6 over, taking early wickets is very crucial to set the momentum, to restrict your opposition to a lower total. So I think the spinners have been pretty good. All 6 wickets yesterday taken by the spinners, and every spinners look decent. But I think the pacers need to, step up their game to give assistance to the spinners. But overall, I think from the batting perspective, the top order is very clumsy. Hopefully, in the first game against New Zealand, we will see a different form from the top order, especially Shefali Verma and Harmanpreet Kaur at the number 3 position. But overall, confidence-wise, I think these 2 wins in the warm-up games will give a moral boost to Team India ahead of the start of the competition.
Bharat, yesterday New Zealand won 30, and then England overhauling that 127 quite comfortably with 5 wickets down. So New Zealand also hasn't looked great. Your thoughts on India v New Zealand?
You see, New Zealand, they have some problems. They depend on basically two, three players: Susie Bates, Amelia Kerr, and obviously Sophie Devine. Some of their other players haven't performed well. Georgia Plimer, if you look at Isabella and other girls, yeah, Hannah Rowe and Rosemary Mayer are honest tryers, but they're not exactly, what can you say? They won't come and take some 4 or 5 wickets and win a match for New Zealand. And even Leah Tahu is getting on in years. So they have problems outside those two, three players. So if especially Sophie Devine doesn't click, and Susie Bates doesn't play that kind of anchor role in these conditions, and Amelia Kerr doesn't really come in and bowl those googlies and get those wickets, New Zealand have problems. So I think India will start this game at least. Though they have wobbled a bit in the couple of practice games, I think India will start this match as kind of favorites only.
Gargi, thoughts on New Zealand again before I go to Devashish on Mohan Bagan and close with that?
New Zealand, I think, is one of those teams who could really go forward in the tournament. They've got a lot of experience in the squad. They've got a lot of match winning players in the squad as well. So it'll be interesting to see how how far New Zealand makes it, because even though it's a great team, it's not maybe a World Cup winning team at the moment. We've seen some of very strong squads from New Zealand, but at this point, I don't think they're up. They're up to par with Australia or a South or an England at this point.
And India, I would add India as well. I think outside of three players, they're really struggling. So they need those three main players to click on that big day against India. Then only I think New Zealand will come out on top.
Ashish, then what is the Mohun Bagan update? Two questions people are asking. Are they registering Nuno Reyes? From what I know, no. For ISL at this point, no, is what I've heard. Update from you. Secondly, is Alberto Rodriguez ready? 75% what I've heard, he's trained yesterday, so he is ready, and they are planning to put him out against Mohammedan Sporting. What are the updates from Mohun Bagan?
Yeah, I also got to know that Nuno Reis won't be registered. Molina clearly said in that previous press conference that he is only registered for ACL 2 game. And Alberto Rodriguez, he trained with the team yesterday and he looks fit. So one would hope that he would be back again in the playing 11, starting 11 for the game against Mohammedan Sporting. As far as the another thing concerning Mohun Bagan, what the AFC decides on the fate of the match where they did not travel to Iran. See, clearly the AFC has put the matter to the ethics committee, but clearly it was evident what has been the case, what has been the situation in Iran. You cannot risk your players' safety and play a game. So and it will be, I would say it will be biased if AFC takes some drastic decisions, because in no way I'm not taking any particular side for that matter. Means any team would be concerned sending their team to Iran right now at this moment, given the situation right now. So I would be interesting what the AFC decides. But then clearly, Mohun Bagan management has taken the right call. Mohun Bagan Supergiant management has taken the right call by not sending the team to Iran and risking the security, because security of the players is paramount. You cannot risk your players.
Yeah. See, Devashish is being very diplomatic here. If AFC decides anything else, they are mad. All of us have seen those missiles going from Iran to Israel. All of us have seen. A country which is at war, how do you go there? Under what circumstance will you risk going there? Yesterday, some very senior people started writing to me saying AFC will be mad to say anything else. That is what it is. And if they do, if Mohun Bagan take them to CAS, AFC stands the risk of losing the case. On a day when war has broken out in West Asia, the Middle East crisis has escalated 25 times. There are missiles being hurled at Israel, and Israel will be retaliating, because based on what Joe Biden has said, United States helping Israel. You mean to say there is conducive environment for sport in Iran? Who says so? If AFC thinks anything to the contrary, they must be completely mad. Shubhan Chakraborty, I will give you the last word. Parth Jindal in Haryana says, retain to karna hi padega, and then he says Rishabh Pant, then he says XYZ. Hello? I don't think Rishabh Pant, Akshar Patel, and Jake Fraser Magak, he has named Mukesh Kumar, he has named many others. I don't think Delhi will retain more than these three. Shubhan Chakraborty, thoughts?
I think the only three players straight away picks could be your Rishabh Pant at 18, Akshar Patel at 14, and Kuldeep Yadav at 11. If Kuldeep says I'll get 11 anyways in the auction table and I want to fetch more, then that's his choice. That's
Jake
what
Fraser
both
Magak?
parties. His international form has not been really good. I think rather Tristan Stubbs has a really strong case as a finisher who has been performing. He's right now top five T20 batters right now. Tristan Stubbs, with the kind of form he has produced in the last year or so for South Africa, for different leagues, for DC, also in the IPL. So I think that's a very serious case. But again, if you pick these three, then again you'll have to give 18 crore again.
52
Whether
crore.
that could be Kuldeep Yadav, that could be Kuldeep Yadav at 18, or Tristan Stubbs at 11, or Jake Fraser McGregor 11. That's a call that DC will have to take. But what I am sensing right now, talking to different people, Boriada, don't be surprised if apart from a couple of franchises, all of them pick one or two and have maximum right to match cards in the auction pool. That could be the strategy of that could be the flavor of this IPL auction.
What the BCCI has done with this, and Jay and the BCCI, credit to them, by doing this 18 and 14 for number 4 and 5, they have
Hmm.
completely messed up the thought process of every franchise, and credit to them. They have made the auction 200 times more interesting by making number 4 and number 5 18 and 14 crores. So that is quite terrific to see. Okay, we've
Yeah.
been 40 minutes on the show. So Bharat Ramraj, Snehashish Mukherjee, waiting to get more stories from you. Interesting write-ups. Bharat, go for it. Snehashish, go for it. Hopefully India will have a good tournament. We'll have plenty to talk about. And if India doesn't, then there will be even more to talk about. Harmanpreet Kaur and her fate on the line. So on behalf of all of us, to our two reporters in Dubai, Shubhan on his off day, he wanted to have his tele bhaja and moody. We dragged him onto the show.
No
So give a
Televajan
round.
Moody. No
No
Televajan
tele
Moody.
bhaja. Okay. Devashish, as usual, is at CAB. He loves his Maidan. And Gargi, thank you very much. All of you for joining. Keep going, keep going. Plenty coming up. Tomorrow the GCL starts. The Global Chess League starts day after India's World Cup game. Mohan Bagan obviously against Mohammedan Sporting in that derby on the 5th. So sporting action continues. We will be back and back soon. Thank you very much for watching.